Hi all, welcome to today's webcast on data-driven shopper-centric approach towards net revenue management. My name is Akalya and I'm a principal data and analytics consultant based in our India office. I have 15 years of experience in this space and have had the opportunity to work for a variety of organizations across various domains such as CPG, real estate, banking, etc. Most of my time is spent on designing an end-to-end data platform for enterprise customers. I have Preksha who would be co-presenting with me. Preksha is also a data and analytics consultant in our India office, and she has had the opportunity to work for multiple consumer goods clients, assisting them in developing data-driven technical solutions for various problem statements like revenue management, sustainability, forecasting, and platform migrations. So here is the agenda for our webcast today. We will start with a quick overview of net revenue management, and we will spend most of our time in sections 2, 3, and 4. I'll provide a quick overview of net revenue management, shedding some light on the 5 facets of revenue management. Then we'll dig deeper into the pricing strategy, and our focus will be mainly on willingness to pay and shopper insights, and offer some insight and examples on how you can elevate your current NRM strategy. For those of you who do not know Thorogood, we are a global, independent, customer-oriented consultancy firm specializing in data engineering, data science, and data visualization. As an organization, we are intent on combining our business focus with best-in-class technological solutions to solve complex business problems. We offer full range of services across the data and analytics spectrum, such as application design and development, maintenance and support, data and analytics services, planning and business modeling, strategies and roadmap, and training and adoption. Here are some of the technologies that we work with. We are partners with some of the major cloud providers like Microsoft Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud Partner. And some of the other technologies that we also work on includes MicroStrategy, Qlik, Databricks, Tableau, SAP, Teradata, etc. So now we'll get into the overview of net revenue management, some of the objectives and strategies there. Net revenue management is critical to the success of every CPG organization. And NRM was originally conceived in the travel industry. NRM allowed airlines to use data and effectively price tickets based on fluctuating demand patterns. Similarly, NRM can provide CPG organizations with the ability to effectively exploit the data available to them, identifying and leveraging opportunities for good growth. Fortunately, these organizations now have access to a lot of data points, both internal and external, that can aid with revenue management. By applying discipline analytics that can predict shopper behavior and combining that with competitor data, CPG companies can optimize the product availability, providing opportunity to maximize revenue growth and profit. NRM methodologies allow organizations to make informed decisions that drive real strategic success, reflected in positive net revenue changes. Specifically, this is achieved by analyzing internal P&L data and external market share data through various lenses. At the end of the day, it is about identifying the opportunity to sell the right product to the right person at the right time and for the right occasion. Here are the 5 facets of net revenue management. The first one being brand portfolio. So what is brand portfolio? It is to identify the optimal pricing model for our product portfolio. To understand how are my brands positioned across channels, how are the promotions affecting average price of the brands, how is my average price index changing with respect to my competitor, etc. The second one being pack pricing. Pack pricing is to identify and implement certain product or packaging changes that will result in the greatest margin improvements. Which pack sizes can be boosted, what gaps do the brands have in their pack lineup, which price points can be activated, etc. The third one, active mix. Active mix is to get the right mix of products across channels, retailers, and locations to maximize the profit and growth. Like what are the assortments and distributions to make to drive profitable growth. Number 4, trade promotion. Trade promotion is to ensure that promotions add to the profit of the retailer or the brand. And it is to identify which promotional mechanics to deploy to drive a profitable volume growth. The fifth one being trade terms. Trade terms is to maximize the share of the profit, and how do you optimize these trade term investments. So that is about the high level overview of NRM. In case you are interested to know in detail about each of the facets that was described in the previous slide and how you want to combine technology with the business requirement, check out some of our previous webcasts or feel free to reach out to me or Preksha and we would be able to help you on that. For the purpose of today's webcast, we will deep dive into the first facet that I mentioned, which is brand portfolio pricing. And we will see how willingness to pay and shopper insights can help in that pricing analysis. So we'll understand what is willingness to pay and how do we measure it. So one of the most powerful yet overlooked growth levers is the pricing strategy. And if we are able to get it right, we can see clear opportunities to increase the revenue. And to do so, we need a handle on the target market's willingness to pay. So what is willingness to pay? What the concept of willingness to pay is telling us is that whatever your willingness to pay for a product might be and wherever it comes from, not going to pay more than that amount for it, says Harvard Business School professor Bharat. Now, why is it important? To set optimal pricing that would benefit the shopper as well as the organization. To capture our brand's full value to the shoppers by either underpricing or overpricing relative to the shopper's willingness to pay and competitors' pricing in specific regions, channels, or segments. Now, how do we measure it? There are various ways in which you can measure this, and there are certain third-party data providers who would be able to capture this information and provide it to each CPG organization. First one being market data analysis. You estimate the future market behavior based on the past demand. And customer service. Surveys are a great way to understand what the customers want. And you can understand how loyal a customer is to a company or how are the competitors in that space, etc. The third one being researching the competition and the customer there. So by understanding, okay, what are some of the competitors playing in that field, in that market, in that particular segment, we'll be able to accordingly optimize our pricing strategy. What are some of the factors that are affecting WTP or willingness to pay? Here we have listed some of the factors here, and there are quite a lot of factors there affecting WTP. So the first one being the economy. So the better the economy, then the shopper would be able to spend more. One example is like a Halloween product is something that is a seasonal product that would, wherein you would see demand for that product during that particular season. Then scarcity. So how many similar products are there in a particular sector or market? And like if a particular product is so scarce, then the demand for that can be high. The fourth one being consumers' own price points. Consumers' own price points, this is something that is going to differ across, from each customer to customer. And this variance is often caused by differences in the customer population, typically classified as either extrinsic factors or intrinsic factors. Extrinsic factors include like age, gender, income, education, where they live, their location. And intrinsic differences could be like a person's characteristics you wouldn't know about without asking them directly, an individual's risk tolerance, or a level of passion about a given brand, etc. This is something that we will understand in detail when we go to Shopper Insights as well. Sustainability. When we think of sustainability, each and every one of us as an individual and as an organization, we want to make a better place for future generation. So one of the other important factors would be how sustainable a particular product is, and many other factors that would affect the willingness of a shopper. Here is one example where we have tried to visualize the average price index with the premium index. So what is premium index is something how a customer is valuing the brand more than the price. So in this example, you can see that there are certain brands that is listed on top of the ratio line that you see here, and there are certain brands that is listed in the bottom section of the line. And this whole thing can be divided into 4 quadrants. And the top right quadrant is something where you can see that it is mostly optimally priced, where the premium index is higher and average price index is also higher, and customers value the brand more than the price of that. So brand 10 is something that is optimally priced. There is an opportunity to increase price, but that is something that we can look at various other factors and then decide on that. Some of the brands that are in the top left here, something like brand 4. So this shows a clear opportunity to increase price as the premium index for this brand is high. In the bottom right, we have brand 25, which means that it is overpriced and there is a clear justification required to either reduce the price or like certain other factors that we need to consider in order to increase the sales of this brand. And similarly, brand 30 is also in the bottom, but that is on the bottom left. So the opportunity for us to decrease this price is something that is very, very less when compared to brand 25. However, it also needs to be considered for a price decrease. Certain brands that are very closer to the line is optimally priced, and we can decide on increasing or decreasing the price by getting into further details of each of those brand attributes. So now that we have discussed about willingness to pay and understood through one of the visualizations how it will help us in our pricing strategy, we can now get into Shopper Insights. Shopper Insights research is focused on the decisions that people make around all aspects of the purchase process. So it is mainly providing all aspects of people's purchase pattern during in-house purchases and online shopping. And why is this important? Shopper Insights will help us change our pricing strategy to get better household penetration. And how do you obtain this data? So there are two ways in which we can obtain this data. It's through syndicated store data and consumer panel data. So syndicated store data provides the data from various stores offline and online for various types of markets, channels, retailers, etc. This is collected through point of sale, the POS in-store systems. That is the most efficient and accurate method of measuring and monitoring market movements. The next is consumer panel data. This provides sales details by each shopper along with the extrinsic characteristics that we discussed as part of the consumer price points, like some age, income, etc. So these consumer panel data is going to give you the details of each shopper along with their extrinsic characteristics of that shopper. And this is a type of data that links purchases to specific individuals or like a household over a particular period. And panel data competitors have really emerged, and they are building larger panels by incenting customers to scan their receipts and submit their e-receipts. We can make use of this syndicated store data and consumer panel data or the shopper data to get richer shopper insights. So now we have got an idea about willingness to pay and shopper insights. Let's talk more about how we can execute this analysis using technological tools. I now hand it over to Preksha to show the execution and demonstration of Shopper Insights and willingness to pay.
So as we discussed a little bit about willingness to pay and Shopper Insights, we'll now talk about how we can execute this analysis using technological tools. So what we have here is a standard architecture template that demonstrates how we can go about implementing a solution that helps us exploit these data sets to get the full value of our NRM strategy. We will start with data collection, which basically helps us to collect the relevant market data captured and provided by various data providers like Nielsen, Kantar, Numerator, IRI, and many more. This will constitute of market transaction as well as your shoppers panel data like Akalya discussed before. We can also further blend in data sets within our organization's master data, profit and loss data, which is available to us internally to even gain further insights. Once we are done with data collection, we extract, clean, and transform the data sets to apply relevant business logic and enable storage in our organization's data lake warehouse or our data lake house. We use our data modeling expertise along with certain tools and technologies to harmonize and model this data in a way that helps us derive meaningful insights. Finally, we build reports on top of this model using data visualization tools that help us identify opportunities for growth, uncover relevant insights, and also pave the way for further investigation. These help the business to plan their actions ahead. If we have to look at one of such examples, what we have here is a report in which we have built up a report using mocked up data set for retailer market data in combination with panel data for shoppers. We can use this data to identify opportunities for growth for the CPG called My Organization within the beauty category. So the category beauty has makeup and skincare as subcategories within it, and the current view that you are seeing on the screen is for the subcategory makeup. The donut visuals on the extreme left provide us with the initial market context in terms of the percentage share between the top manufacturers for the makeup subcategory. This view is in terms of your sales value share, your volume share, as well as the percentage of buyers. For this particular subcategory makeup, you can see that the total sales value that we have here is around 1.31 million. We can see that My Organization is your leading organization across all the three sales value, volume, and shoppers metrics. It is closely being followed by competitor 2 and then competitor 1 in terms of my percentage share. Further on, we have listed the top brands based on their sales value, volume, and the number of shoppers to recognize the key players which are contributing towards the market share that is depicted on the left. Finally, with the help of the panel data that we have been able to gather, we are creating a shopper-centric view to see how different kind of shopper demographics are performing with respect to sales value, volume, and the number of shoppers. We can toggle this view using the buttons that we have on the top. For the purpose of this example, we have 3 demographics with us, which is age, family size, and income. But you can have even more demographics based on the category that you're analyzing and the data that you've been able to collect. So for each demographic, we can see that the percentage split across the sub-demographics. And along with that, there is a shopper index that is available to us. So what does the shopper index indicate? This is basically a comparison between how much this particular sub-demographic is contributing towards sales in this subcategory, which is makeup, to how much the category is contributing towards the overall beauty. As we can see, one of the examples, which is the age group 30 to 45, the highest percentage share has the shopper index of 96, which is less than 100. This indicates that even though the value spent for this particular age group is higher, their contribution towards the subcategory makeup as a total is lower than the average contribution towards makeup by the other age groups. And other kind of analysis that we can aid with this visual can be seen with the example of the family size demographic. So if we have a look at the family size of 5+ members, we can see that there is a positive shopper index, which means that their contribution towards makeup out of their total spend is highest compared to the rest of the family sizes. When we click on this family size, we can also see that the brands that are contributing towards this percentage share. And in this example, we notice that brand 160 is the leading brand that is contributing towards the shopper index within this particular family size sub-demographic. My competitor's brand, which is my brand 7, is lagging behind, and this basically tells me that there is an opportunity for growth since the shopper index for this particular sub-demographic is positive. Further on, if we move into an even more detailed view of a shopper-centric analysis, we can review some other key metrics aided by the combination of our retailer data along with panel data. Some of these are the number of trips, spend per trip, units per trip, as well as the average price. Based on the example that we saw in the previous report, we can also filter the detailed view to compare the trend across the 2 brands that we were analyzing. We can see a detailed table below that again can be viewed across different sub-demographics and gives us more insight into the measures that can be viewed across these. For example, for the 5+ member family size, we can see that the sales value is 288, contributing to 22.14% of the total market share. The shopper index being 114 and my organization shares being 19% also suggests there is quite a lot of headroom for me to grow within this particular segment. As of now, the leading manufacturer within this segment is competitor 2, with a percentage share of 46%. We can also analyze the year-on-year change sales with the help of this graph. So these are the few ways in which we can carry on some analysis on our retailer and shopper to discover opportunities for growth and the jobs to be done. There are many such ways in which you can implement your revenue management strategies. Consumer behavior changes very rapidly, and every month we would like to understand how our shoppers are shopping, what are the brands being preferred, what are my key shopper profile segments for a particular category, what is the trend of buying across various geographies, channels, retailers, which are the subcategories that under a particular category that my shoppers are interested in, and so on. These, at the end of the day, help us also understand where does our headroom lie and where we can plan our actions ahead. So in this journey, how can Thorogood help you? So Thorogood has experience in getting various enterprise organizations started with their NRM journey. Based on that expertise, we can help you to choose and implement various technological tools to get started with it. If you already have a solution in place for carrying out the NRM analysis, we can review your current approach and discuss opportunities with you to improve use of cloud tools or even implement other facets of NRM if possible. For all your data engineering, data visualizations, and data science projects, we can help you with the technical implementation. That brings us to the end of this webcast, and we really hope that you were able to benefit from this. We want to thank you for attending, and in case you have any questions around the NRM implementation strategies, please do feel free to reach out to Akalya or myself in case you have any questions for us. Thank you.